For the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the pop culturist PlayStation podcast for 40 years of playing PlayStation and 10 plus years in that games meeting. But thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to join us in future conversations with us, you can head over to our socials, Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join us as the conversation happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can by telling your friends, telling your family about this PlayStation pod. If you are listening on those podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are watching us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe with a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can by heading over to patreon.com/thepopcultures, as well as our merchandise store, shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Happy Father's Day, Max, you big old mother father.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks.
How was your day?
My day was, it started interestingly, but then it ended, it started sad and then went well and then great. So I woke up and then I was like, oh, let's just kick it right into the fucking depressors at the start, right? Ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. It was like, I realized it's the first Father's Day I've woken up by myself. And I was like, oh, that's fucking sad. And I was sad about that. And then I realized that the Taylor Hawkins memorial concert was last night. So I watched a little bit of that as well, and I just fucking bawled my eyes out. I don't know like why specifically the Taylor Hawkins stuff hit me, but it did.
His son was drumming?
Well, no. I mean, like originally, like when he announced he passed, it really hit me. But then watching it again last night, and then like they do all this stuff, and Dave Chappelle comes out and tells this wonderful story about meeting Taylor and his son. And then, of course, it ends with him playing My Hero, and he's just drumming as fucking hard as his dad, and it was just amazing. And then my son came around. He gave me this lovely bag of goodies, this beautifully hand-drawn birthday card, Father's Day card, and it's like the second I looked at it, I just started bawling all over again. I loved it. It's exactly what I needed right now. You know, as I said, my brain's been pretty mean to me as of late, and it's great when I get to hang out with my son. I don't feel any of it. Like I feel good. Feel complete. So today, you know, there's a big indoor pool near my house, and every time we drive past it to take him back to his mum's, he goes, "Let's go to the pool." I'm like, "I'm driving you home, bud. We can't go right now." He's like, "No." But then, so he came to my house on Friday night, and then yesterday I worked a wrestling show, and then I had him back this morning. So because he was able to know that there was the X amount of time between coming to my place, he's like, "Can we go to the pool Sunday?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we're going to the pool. And then we paid, $10 for 2 of us for all the piss we could drink. It was great. So my son, a big part of obviously two and a bit years of COVID restrictions and etc. He never really has done swimming lessons or done any sort of swimming. So it was actually really fun. It was just sort of like teaching him the basics of how to swim and just sort of getting him comfortable in the water. And it was a really, really good bonding experience. It was awesome. Then we had Macca's, and then we came back here and we played games for a little bit, and I took him home. It was an awesome, awesome day. And he made me brownies. So I had some brownies for dessert after my dinner tonight, made by my son, and they were awesome. I could feel the sugar burning my teeth. It was amazing. How was your daddy day?
Yeah, it was pretty chill. I slept in. Awesome. Hadley came in and woke me up with a card, and they she made scones for me this afternoon. So that was I'm like all sconed out. I had like 3 scones with jam and cream, and like wrecked. Had a nap on the couch.
Love it. Yeah. Well, look, that's the most dad thing you could ever done. Eat until you can't stay awake anymore and die on the couch. That is the daddest thing you could have done.
It was a pretty chill day.
Yeah.
Which was good.
Yeah.
That's what I needed.
That's good. Yeah. And that's one of those things. It's good. Oh, Shane, I'm here lurking while I siege. No worries, Shane. Anyone's welcome to come and watch the show and lurk and just listen to our not so dulcet tones as we talk about PlayStation and dads and all the things that we usually nonsense about. But yeah, no, it was good. So like I'm all like body hurt from working the wrestling show yesterday. Like my hips, my hip joints, and my whole hip area, and like my lower abs suck. It's from lifting shit I probably incorrectly. So I went to the going to the pool, awesome. But then because I pooled for like 3 hours with my kid, all the rest of my body now hurts as equally. So I'm like, right, I'm gonna sleep just fine. I'm gonna sleep like shit. I'm gonna take some Valium and go to bed once we're done here. I think it's probably the right idea. But other than that, what's been happening this week, man? Anything of note?
Not really. It's just been a week, I think. Oh no, okay. Sorry, house update.
Yay! For those playing at home, huh?
For those playing at home, we are now in the lock-up stage. So my house now looks like a house from the outside. It's got windows, it's got bricks. It doesn't have doors, which is really weird because like they're like, oh, we can lock your house up. How? There's no fucking door. They've just got Glad wrap around the front of it, so if someone walks into it, they'll just...
It's just a couple of spider webs. Everyone walking goes, ah!
So they're we spoke to the builder, the site manager, and he's like, we should have you in for the final inspection in about 13 weeks time, which is right at the start of December. So hopefully everything's good. We can be in before Christmas. Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's exciting. It's nice to finally see something happening after like what feels like 3 years.
It has been a very long time for your house, and I'm very happy that you're finally getting some momentum.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
You are, which is absolutely great.
But other than that, nothing much happened this week. It's just a pretty chill week.
Yeah, nice.
But Mum's coming down tomorrow, so I'm going to be playing like no games for the next week and a half.
Oh no!
So spoiler alert.
All right. Well, there's not a whole lot that we.
You'll be like, what did you play this week? I'm like, Life. I played Life this week.
The game of life? No, not even not even the board game of life.
I played the sleeping game.
Take advantage of Mum being around, just catching up on the sleeps. But, yeah, look, it's the thing. I don't think I did anything exciting this week from memory. No. One thing we did do, though, speaking of playing games and things that are exciting, our review of The Last of Us Part 1 went up. So big thank you, PlayStation Australia. They provided us the review code for The Last of Us Part 1. And we did pop that video up on... Shit, what day was it? Thursday
morning.
Thursday morning. It's up there. Tens of people have seen it. Thank you to you tens of people. Appreciate it. But yeah, no, it's you can go check out the video if you'd like. It's one of those things where, you know, great game is still great. But now it looks even better. It looks better. It runs better. Is it worth the money? Which seems to be the greater debate around this title for some reason, which is incredibly subjective. If you really love the game, yes. If you're mixed on the game, probably not. Are you interested in the game at all? You're not interested in the game at all? Then don't pay for it. That's it. There's your answer. Hi. It's one of those things. Yeah. Like, you'll know you will know in your heart of hearts if you want to play this game. And if you do, then the price is whatever you want to pay for it, whatever you're okay to pay for it. It's there it is. But yeah, look, like I said, the game's really great. What I'm finding now, we did say in the review as well that we hadn't finished it at the time of recording, because a lot of the stuff was locked off for us. Like all the skins and everything that made part of the big selling point of the remake, because it is a remake, like people of the internet. Oh, it's just a fucking like, shut your fucking face. Play it. You will learn very quickly that it is a remake. It is not a reskin. It is not a remaster. There are models that are completely redone. There are scenes that are completely redone, reshot, new cameras to tell a better story. Everyone can eat an asshole. But yeah, what was I going to say? I forgot what my thought process was. What was it?
No in the chat makes a really good point. Interesting they haven't done a demo for the PlayStation sub, which I thought they made a requirement for PlayStation 5, assuming due to the fact that it's a remake. Because any title over, I think it was $70, was required to have a playable demo for
I'm still yet to see that. Has that happened outside of the trial?
No, that's what it's supposed to be. So Tiny Tina's has one. Rollerdrome has one that only runs for 35 minutes.
Yeah. Like Saints Row. Saints Row's fucking that much, and there's no demo for it.
Yeah,
so it's a game that came out recently. So once again, very similar to the rules of the PS Plus back in the day. They're just making up as they go along. What was I talking about with The Last of Us? Oh yeah, one of the things that I'm finding it's actually making the story better when we're seeing those subtle nuances in the face. We're seeing the performances of Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson even better again, that's for me, that is what's making this like a must play experience. Is that if you already love the story and you're now going to see it better, it's things are sharper. It's overall fucking so much better. Is there anything you want to add for those that may not have seen the review yet?
No, you pretty much summed it up. Like you said, great game is still great.
But better.
I can see how people have got it in their mind that the $125 price point is rather steep, considering the fact that from obviously it was just remastered from PS3 to PS4, but you had that upgrade fee, and it's that weird line of where do you draw the line of the PS4 to PS5 upgrade that they've done in the past. Yes, this is a remake, not a remaster, but it's one of those things of, does it really need to be that $125 price point? Obviously, it's not $125 everywhere. That's just for the PlayStation Store. Most places retail have it significantly cheaper than that. Yeah, it's just one of those things that, it's the devs have to be paid for the work that they've done. But as someone who doesn't make games, I don't know how much work went into this.
A lot. The answer is a lot.
Like, obviously, the answer is obviously a lot because it's a remake, not a remaster. Yeah. They're not just, like you said, slapping a coat of paint on it and making it look prettier.
Yeah, this isn't a HD texture pack or some shit. Like, this is quality work.
But yeah, it is a tough pill to swallow, especially in the economy that we're seeing at the moment.
See,
$125 is very. Very steep.
Because I think one of the as we talk about this, I don't think we talk about this in the review as much, but when they're like, "Oh man, it's a cash grab," yeah, every game is a cash grab. Every business transaction fucking ever is a cash grab. It's all about taking money out of your pocket and putting it in their own. So using that as a term, get out of here. It's fucking useless. Is it self-indulgent? You goddamn right it is. Like, this is so incredibly self-indulgent because no one asked for it. They made it because they wanted to, and that's that. And it's like, well, I don't want to pay for it. Then don't. They made it for them. They didn't make it for you. And like, it's one of those weird things where like, well, then why make it? Because they want to. It's, if video games want to be that artistic expression, then you need to acknowledge that like people can do it as an artistic expression. That's like why did someone make this painting? No, this painting's hideous. Yeah, but they made it because it's an artistic expression that they wanted to complete. It's that difficult space, and this is something that was reiterated to me recently, and it made perfect sense, is the idea of like video games, one of these weird pieces of art that is what is within this it's very similar to like I guess like movies and stuff in that same space. It's where it's like, creating an artistic endeavor that is almost inherently business and transactional, but then also has the ability to go back and alter. Like books, you can't go back and alter. So like, there's no one's remaking books. Movies get remade, but it's not quite the same. They're not taking the same movie and doing tweaks with it. Like, it's either they make a completely new movie with new people, this, that, the other, or they add those tweaks. There's like nothing else quite like how video games work in that space, and it's fascinating. But Buddy in the chat does jump in and goes, "No game is worth $125 Australian. AU prices are wrought. No one should be buying digital games when AU disc can range from $69 to $99 from retailers." That is absolutely true. And I think that's part of the reason why there was that.
Except for all the people who bought a digital only console.
Yeah, look, that $100 they saved at launch, woo, not worth it now. Hey, mate. But yes, it's one of those things where it's like, and I think this is part of why there was that lawsuit in the US, not US, in the UK, because they're like, well, it's choking out the marketplace because no one else, you can't buy digital games anywhere else but the PSN. Like, well, yeah, okay, like that sucks. Don't buy them online.
I mean, the same applies to the Microsoft Store and the Nintendo Store.
Correct. Like, Nintendo Store is disgusting. Like, people want to bullshit complain about, those stores, but the Nintendo games never go down in price. Never. Even the trash ones, they still stay the same price. Also, speaking of, do you have Arceus, by the way?
No.
Fuck. I got this little kick to, like, my son's phone.
No, Pokemon, Nintendo Switch games hold their value really well. So when there's a new Switch game that I want, I trade in my old games and then I get the new ones essentially for nothing. Because
and that's an advantage of them never altering the price, as they always hold their value. Let's see. MGB is in the chat. Hey, man, how you doing? Only movie series that has been tweaked over time is Star Wars, and that didn't go well. But yeah, only saving grace series that you can get PS Store gift cards from with Afterpay, but that's the closest we can get to getting Afterpay on a console. I never considered that because I don't use Afterpay. I'm very much in the belief of if I don't have the money up front, then I ain't doing it. Then that's probably because my ADHD brain is shit enough that I'll be like, haha, it's only $30, and then 2 weeks later I'm like, what the fuck's this $30 for? Oh no! And then 2 weeks later I'm like, oh no! And I'm fucked for a month, 2 months. But yeah, that's actually a really good way to look at it, I guess. That's also very dangerous, leaving an Afterpay store credit, PSN store credit. But yeah, we talked about the irony is I just sat here and went, oh man, discussing prices of games is stupid. Proceeds to talk about prices of games for a whole 20 minutes. What a prick, this guy. But anyway, yeah. So that's we've already kind of started what games we've been playing, Max. Now, Max, there was a game that you saw and you're like, mate, you're like, I want to play this game. I'm like,
let me pull it up. I gotta remember what it's bloody called.
I remember. I've got it covered, brother.
From my mind.
So we saw this game on Keymailer, which is for those who don't know, it's a website that you can use to and if you're a content creator or a reviewer or whatever in this weird space that we live between. Also, got some updates on that. So like Max is like, there's this game. It's called Path of Titans. It's a dinosaur MMO. What? It sounds trash.
Yeah, I think I said it's Ark, but you are the dinosaur.
Yeah, it goes Ark, but you are the dinosaur. Doesn't that sound mad? I went, it does not. And he's like, but I've already requested a key. So
I played it.
Yeah, so a code for Path of Titan came through this week. So big thank you to the development team. But yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, so I downloaded it. When you kick off the download, you get a choice of PlayStation 4 or PS5 beta.
Yeah.
Yep. So obviously, I'm playing on a PS5, so I downloaded the PS5 beta version. You open the game, and I believe we got some free in-game goodies. So I got two extra dinosaurs, one herbivore, one carnivore. They're both shit, regardless. Okay, so straight off the bat, just garbage dinosaur selection to begin with, or you can pay $60 to unlock all the dinosaurs. Which is just crazy to me. So they're all locked behind premium currencies, and essentially it's $60 worth to buy enough premium currency to buy all the dinosaurs early. So I'm like, I don't really want to dive into like some kind of crazy PvP world where some asshole is going to be pay to win and I'm just going to get eaten straight away. I'm going to start my own world. And I'm going to go through a couple of the things. I load in. The textures are popping in and out. There's this. It's not rendering properly. There's no. The render distance is absolutely atrocious. The run speed is like a walk. The walk speed is a crawl. Takes ages to get anywhere, and they give you like essentially little quests to do. So the first one, if you're a carnivore, is go and hunt 3 of these little creatures. So it pops up on your little mini map. and you go over there and it's like interact with the burrow to like disturb the burrow. Nothing comes out of it, and then you can't re-interact with it because you've interacted with it once. So I'm like, well, where do I go now? But the quest doesn't update and it doesn't give you a new place to go. So I kind of just walked around in circles, went, this is kind of shit. I'll go onto an online PvP map. And it puts you in like this tutorial cave and you go through and do all the things. It teaches you how to pick up the items and deliver them to other places. And it's like, you can party up. Please type something in the world chat so people know that you're new. And I'm like, okay, and type in the world chat and then everyone's yelling at you for a little while.
Yeah, different, like, what did you type, Max? Like, oi cunts? Like, what did you put in?
No, I just wrote, hey. Like, I think it was hi. It was like the quickest thing that I could possibly write. And then as soon as I get out of the tutorial zone, there's a dude as a Tyrannosaurus just sitting at the entrance to the tutorial cave.
Chomping people.
And I'm this little chicken-looking dude. And then again, I walk for 20 minutes to the quest marker. I get there, and the interaction thing breaks, and nothing comes out. And then I just went, nah, I can't do this. And closed it.
So look, I had it installed, ready to go.
So I've played like a grand total of an hour, and I haven't managed to do the first quest because nothing happens.
Beautiful. So like, I had it installed on mine, ready to go. I was like, look, this. I know Max had a hard on for this game originally, and it's, you know, it's very much not a Betson game, but I'll give it a look. And then I hadn't booted it up. Then Max gave me exactly the spiel that you all just heard, and I went, cool. I just deleted it. So I do wonder whether the PS4 version is better, and
Maybe.
hence the baitiness of the PS5. But
the one time I found a critter that I could eat, it could outrun me. I'm just like, okay, cool.
So I just died. Well, it's anything, you had the true dinosaur experience, Extinction.
Yeah. But it's a survival game, so you got to go eat, otherwise you die of hunger, and you got to go drink, otherwise you'll die of dehydration. And it's just, yeah. I thought it was going to be way cooler. Maybe it is if I paid the extra $60 to get the flying dinosaurs or the giant crocodile. Or
Max, you also didn't pay anything for this game. I mean, once again, review code provided. Yeah. What are you complaining about? It was free.
Yeah.
But I think it's like $40 or something. Like, it's not like $10 or anything.
So yeah, it's a bit rough.
Well, that sucks to be them.
I mean, I hope the people who are enjoying it are enjoying it, but it just doesn't seem to want to work for me. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong, but it like tells me to go to like a burrow where these enemies are supposed to be that I can eat, and then you disturb their nest, and they're supposed to, I assume, like scurry out so you can eat them. But it just says nothing happens, and then you can't re-interact with it.
Rad. Look, I'm not a big fan of MMOs at the best of times. And when it's got this sort of bullshit around it, I'm like, nah, bro. Because it's one of those things, like Ark was really cool. I enjoyed Ark until I realized that it's a perpetual world. And I'm like, well, because I can't play every day because I have other things to do. I come back and all my food's spoiled, and like someone has had unconsensual sex with my cabin, and I'm like, I just wrecked. Everything is horrible.
A couple of our friend group for a while were playing Conan like around the clock. Like someone would be playing all night, and someone would get on all day just to keep the base safe, so we didn't get raided.
See, that's the problem. It's such a cool idea until you realize everyone's an asshole.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than logging off for the night, having a sleep, waking up, and all your shit's gone.
Yeah, it instantly makes me not want to play the game. Almost instantly. Is there anything else to play this week? I'm trying to think. Like, outside of The Last of Us, I don't think I played much.
I've obviously been playing the usual. Played a bit more Destiny 2, played a bit more Rocket League. But other than that, no, I haven't really played anything.
Yeah, no. So I had the boy around, and we played some SpongeBob and some multiverses and a bit of Knack. But I don't think I really haven't. I've really not dived into anything else at all. Well, there you go. Like, I know friend of the show, Craig, he's picked up a copy of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, so I might be jumping back into that with him, because that'd be funski.
Oh yeah, that's right. You never finished that.
I never finished that because I kind of got distracted and sort of wandered off. But saying that, like, with that in mind, I should finish Red Dead. Because one of those things, I got further than I ever have before.
I'd prefer it if you didn't.
Yeah, but I also got In Sound Mind to finish as well. That I was closer to finishing. So I might jump back into that. I did contemplate booting that up. So for those who might be jumping in new, Max and I at the beginning of the year set ourselves a backlog challenge with the ideas there were 3 games that we would select that would have to complete by the end of the year. One that was under 10 hours, one that was under 20 hours, and one that was 30 hours. So yeah, 30 hours-ish, right? Or plus, or approximately. I had selected In Sound Mind as the first one. The second for 20 hours was Horizon Zero Dawn, because at the time I had taken a big hunk of it. I just never finished it. And the last one was Red Dead Redemption 2, because I've tried to complete that game like 4 times, and I just get further every time and then quit and then have to start again. And I'm not starting it again. I got to finish it this time. Max, your 3 were Immortals Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, that was the second one. The first one was the game that you actually finished, Death's Door.
Oh, Death's Door. That game is so fucking pissed. How have you not finished Death's Door?
I haven't sat down to play it is the main thing.
Yeah, that's fair. So Death's
The next
Door.
one is Immortals Phoenix Rising. I think I've got like 2 missions left to do.
Yep. And
the last one, because I'm a dumbass, I picked Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah. The game that never ends.
The game that never ends.
Yeah. So, like, seeing as I'm being destroyed in our draft this year because all my games just moved up to next year, so at least I can win in the backlog challenge, which would be nice. Jerdman, he's here in the chat, and they've jumped in, and they've gone, Red Dead 2 is so fucking good, and Immortals is great as well. Immortals is awesome. It's a really, really good game. We saw somewhere today, some of the this week referred to it as a Zelda Breath of the Wild clone. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You haven't played the game, you moron? And Buddy goes, Death's Door is so good. It is very, very good. MGB jumps in. Finished Astro a few days ago. Was definitely fun. Got to start Deathloop soon. And then Ghostwire. Yeah, so MGB's just picked themselves up a PS5. And they're starting to give it a bit of a run for their money. Ghostwire is one I'm actively thinking about jumping back to as well. I'll hate it because it'll be all weeby and shit. But one of the problem that I had with it. Now here's where I have to talk about my TV again. I was playing it on my old TV and it ran like asshole. But with this TV with all its variable refresh rates and shit, maybe I won't have the same screen tearing nonsense problem that I had with, Ghostwire, which was just giving me motion sickness all the time. So there you go. Maybe that's my next thing. It's not going to be. It's not going to be at all. But the option's always there. Actually, out of nowhere, I almost contemplated replaying the Outer Worlds. I don't know why. I saw it on the PSN on the store for sale. I was like, oh, I remember that game. I got the disc here somewhere. No, how many hertz? Haven't heard in 2 episodes. Whoa. Calm down. 120.
Should we dive into the meat and potatoes of this?
Let's get into the section we call Inform the Players. We tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation. But before we do that, there is one piece of news we have to talk about that is very important. Ya boys, me and Max will be at PAX Australia 2022. Our press passes got approved this week because that's a story in and of itself, ladies and gentlemen. So I lodged the... okay, so here we go. I'm sure many of you know.
Give him the TLDR.
Look.
Give him the TLDR.
The TLDR, the problem with what we create and the content that we make is that we fit somewhere in the line between content creators and traditional media, in that we work in Twitch, we work in podcasts, we make, in personality driven content like this. However, because we don't stream games regularly, we don't do, all the other content creator stuff like your TikToks and your who's that, the other, we stick within that more traditional media space. Depending on the publisher, developer, expo, PR team, we vary on where we sit. So an example, PlayOn, which is, Koch Media, we sit as content creators. Cool. Within reason. Like, it's actually disadvantaged us a couple times, but okay. Sure, why not? And then for some other places, we're media. I'm like, oh, fantastic. And with PAX, over the last like 5-6 years, it's like 7 years that I've gone to PAX. Depending on the year, it's kind of like it's always ever been one application. They just kind of assign you whichever pass they think's relevant. So there was a handful of years at the start where we were media, and then for 1 year, 1 or 2 years we were content creators, and then pandemic, and then here. So I was like, well, seeing as the last time we were accepted we were content creators, I will lodge it as a content creator request. Hard cancelled. So I responded to him and like, hey, look, I've attended the last like 7 years, even in COVID times. Like I presented on this panel about video games and mental health. I was part of this panel. I did this thing for generosity, and then if you go back, here's all the videos I've ever done at PAX. Like I've been doing this a lot. Like, is there any particular reason why we weren't successful this year? And they went, oh, you just applied for the wrong category, you dickhead. I was like, oh, that checks out. Cool. So they essentially were like, look, just apply again as media, not content, and you'll get approved. Like, I promise you. I was like, oh, shit, no worries. So then I did, and it was quiet for about a week or so. And then, boom, there it is. It came in the email. And I was like, I got a genuine sigh of relief. Like, look, we were going anyway. It doesn't change anything. Yeah, the long version is so much longer. You have no idea. So in short, we're going to PAX. We would have been going anyway. We both have 3-day passes. But to be able to go as press is awesome. It allows us to do all the things we normally do. We'll be running around. We'll no doubt be doing our usual floor tour at the start of on the Friday morning. We go in and Max, you're gonna have to be a cameraman. I'm gonna have to be cameraman this year because Dylan's not going. So we'll have to take it in turns about being camera people. But so
we'll ready for the shakiest cam of your life, ladies and gentlemen.
So we'll do our usual floor tour because like it's fun. Yeah, hey, we'll have Buddy be our cameraman if they want to hang out with us. Fucking hey, I'm in. Because like I love it. Like so, I love PAX. I'm so excited for PAX.
I've been once in my life, so this will be my second PAX.
Yeah, it's so good. Run around, filming stuff, playing games, kissing hands, shaking babies, being pretty for PAX. I finally get closure on my weight loss journey. So for those that might be new, in the beginning of 2020, I created a goal for myself was to be pretty for PAX. I wanted to lose enough weight that I'd be pretty much unrecognizable come October of 2020. Then COVID happened. Now it's 2022, and I did hit my weight loss goal of 40 kilos back in November of last year. Then my marriage fell apart. Then I got really depressed. I'm still really depressed. And then winter. And it's now. And I've gained like 8 to, depending on the day, 8 to 10 kilos back. So I'm sitting about 30. And, oh shit. So I'm going to do a little bit of work between now and PAX Day. Just to try at least trim a couple things off. Look, I still look so much better than I did before. That's fine by me. But yeah, we'll be around recording podcasts, the AT booth. I don't know if there's going to be the party mode panel again. I didn't get hooked up with any panels or anything this year, but we'll be around doing some fun stuff. That's it, buddy. I'm usually in the video, lol, but happy to be behind that if you need. Jerd says I'll be portly for PAX. Fun fact: I realized today, Jerdman. He and I are/were ambassadors for the Manshake. It's a whole thing at the moment. And I've realized we've been heavily involved with each other for the last 2.5 years. And we've never met in person, ever. It's crazy times. Let's see. What else have I missed there? MGB, maybe we'll settle it in Fight Forever if they had a beta copy there. Ooh. Well, with no release date for AEW Fight Forever, who knows? It would be pretty rad if it was at PAX.
The Gamescom, wasn't it?
It was a Gamescom playable, so it's possible that it's going to be playable there. Asked to check his manscaping. Please don't ask to check my manscaping. Just assume that it is well kept. Jerdman says, PAX drinks, baby. That's a very good question, Max. Are we going to engage in PAX drinking? the social side of PAX because we didn't get hotels this year. Because it turns out the hotel that I got in 2019, totally one of those hotel quarantine hotels. So I'm not going there. But I don't have any money either.
Probably one night, but not all three. Because I do plan on traveling back and forth. Because obviously, being away for a whole weekend, I'd feel kind of guilty.
Jared says I have a walkway to the convention center.
I have this like really large concern that somehow I'm going to get like mad sick from this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. PAX pox, COVID, you name it, it's all happening. But look, I might have to harass people and be like, "Hey, can I borrow some floor of your hotel? Because this gets shit faced." Like, I want to go to Fortress. I want to get some drinks. There's the boat shed or whatever that we normally go to each year. Like, I'm just keen. Just like, but yeah.
Good. I've just had COVID. I'm ready to mingle.
Buddy, you can sleep in my bed, Ryan. Damn. I'm going to take that offer up. Me and Buddy are just going to like hard spoons. Look, I can be little spoon. I can be big spoons. We can top and tail. I don't really give a shit. I'm incredibly comfortable with myself and my friends. And look, what's nothing wrong with some cuddling between bros. You know what I'm saying? MGB, I won't be able to make it this year, but I hope PAX is lovely this year for all you peeps. I cannot wait. Crimson, happy Old Man's Day, Betson. Thank you, Crimson. Thank you so much. And of course, Max, being a mother father as well. Big thank you. Much appreciated, my friend. But yeah, PAX. You'll see us there. I can't wait. I'm so fucking excited. The things I'm hoping for, if PlayStation are there in a presence, if PSVR 2 is playable at Gamescom, I hope it's there. In a COVID world, I don't know how that's going to work. So it might be behind closed door media things. So I'm gonna try. Sorry, TGS. So I'm gonna try swing that if I can, and then give myself sweet COVID and or pink eye from like rubbing the same headset on my face. But I did like when PSVR 1 came out. I remember going early hands on with it at PAX. So it'd be lovely to do that again. AEW Fight Forever is another big one. Hogwarts Legacy would be a dope one if it's there as well. Is there anything that you? Oh, God of War. It's unlikely, but that would be sick. What would you like to see at PAX, Max?
Forspoken.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
I'd love to see some Final Fantasy stuff. And hopefully, I know I think it's fair. I think it might be too far out, but I'd be stoked if they had Lies of P.
Well, isn't that playable? Wasn't that playable at Gamescom?
I don't know. I thought it might have just been a new gameplay trailer that dropped. I don't know if it was actually playable.
Interesting.
Because I'd be keen for that.
Very nice. Well, one of the other things that's going to be disappointing, especially for Buddy in the chat, is every year we've played. Oh shit, my brain's farted. It's that camping game, the Overcooked style camping game, which releases in like 2 weeks. So every year we've played it at PAX. Camped Out, I think is called. But yeah, for first year. Oh, actually, that and Dead Static Drive. Dead Static Drive, I've played every year at PAX like last what feels like a decade. It's still not out yet. All right, anyway, PAX, you'll see us there. Can't fucking wait. Max, it's the actual first piece of news.
So let's talk some Sony acquisitions and investments that happened this week. So we'll kick things off with From Software, the studio behind hit RPGs like Elden Ring and Dark Souls, has announced it will be selling new shares to both Sony and Tencent earlier this week. Kadokawa Corporation, the current owner of FromSoft, will retain the majority of shares, owning 69.66% of the studio. Sony will purchase a 14.09% stake, and Tencent's subsidiary Sixjoy Hong Kong will acquire 16.25%. This funding will primarily be leveraged to allow FromSoft to publish its own games globally. It already does self-publish in Japan, but has relied on larger publishers in other regions, such as Bandai Namco and Activision. Additionally, the studio will, quote, aim to proactively invest in development of more powerful game IP for itself to strengthen From Software's development capabilities.
Now, Max, as the much bigger FromSoft fan, and I just spoke for about like an hour and 20 minutes flat about PAX, what's your thoughts?
I mean, it makes sense for them to be able to self-publish. Obviously, like I said, they do it in Japan. Bandai Namco got, I think it was Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3. I think they have actually done most of the Dark Souls games. Yeah. So it makes sense for them to get that little bit more of investment money, so they can be like, hey, this is our stuff. We're gonna do it our way, how we want to do it. So Why not?
Well, because I think
They,
that's
they still own the majority, so they can still they can still play ball. Obviously, that every once in a while, Tencent or Sony may be like, hey, can we leverage our partnership for like some exclusives or whatever, or in Tencent's case, that they probably just want more money.
yeah, it's because it wasn't what was it? Who was it? I thought it was NetEase that jumped in, but that's fine. I may have missed.
No, that's the other one. It was
you.
NetEase and Thingo did stuff with Quantum.
That's right. They did Quantic Dream, which is that
Quantic
also
Dream.
on the list?
No, because it has nothing to do with Sony, and I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. The Quantic Dream.
Yeah, NetEase purchased Quantic Dreams.
Yeah, pretty much. So this is a thing for so like 14.09% ain't nothing to fucking joke about. There's a couple of different things here that I look at this, right? So From Software is such a successful place right now that they would never sell in entirety. It just wouldn't happen. But this is one of those things, like, is Sony sort of making up for lost time, seeing as they could have and probably should have purchased them back in the day when they were working on Demon's Souls. And seeing as PlayStation owned both Demon's Souls and Bloodborne's IP, I guess this is something within that space. But then you also look at the likes of, as you mentioned, with Bandai Namco owning Dark Souls and Activision owning Sekiro, I believe. I think that was right.
And then they also do Armored Core, I think.
Yeah, so it's one of those weird lines
right?
where, not quite like Telltale in that they don't own their own IP, like they don't own the IP they work with. They have been very lucky enough to forge an entire genre that they are so known for that even if they don't own the IP, no one's mad because no one can do what they do better than they do. Because like Telltale were that for a hot minute, then the likes of Quantic Dream came out and did it better. So it's one of those things, like they weren't even the leaders in their genre. And like especially on the back of the success of Elden Ring, they ain't fucking selling. They're leaning up.
I think at last count they've done 16.6 million copies sold since February.
That's crazy.
They're obviously not. They're obviously in a good position.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're Leonardo DiCaprioing this from Wolf of Wall Street. I ain't fucking leaving. Like they ain't selling. They ain't going nowhere. And if this allows them to self-publish and go out on their own, and then not have that reliant, but PlayStation can still get some dollary dues out of it. Because we were discussing this last week, right? And with the idea that it's better that when it comes to larger development teams or even publishing arms, Sony are making the choice to invest rather than outright purchase. So they can still, what was the expression they use? Milking they're not buying the cow, they're getting the milk for free. So in the same way that they're going to get a financial kickback from any From Software game purchase moving forward from whenever this date comes across, if that's how it works. They're also, able to swing some goodies. Because if you have 14.09% of a company, I'm sure you can go, hey, give us something. Whatever it is, right? And that can swing in their favor. And yeah, From Software, as I mentioned, they are one of the most loved, respected, renowned development teams in the world. Originally, I would have put alongside them and say CD Projekt Red, but we've seen them shit the bed. So there's not many other development companies like From Software out there, and at least they can get some benefit out of it compared to Microsoft's approach of buying everything completely. In the chat, MGB Live goes, wonder if this could mean that Bloodborne could have a higher chance of getting a PC port. I think it's been on the cards for a very long time, but whether it comes together or not is probably the different circumstance. I don't think this changes anything, but it gives them a financial incentive to do so. It's probably one of those things, which is also very interesting because like PlayStation once again, they've owned the IP for a while, and maybe the challenge of getting that Bloodborne PC port is that they couldn't get a team that isn't FromSoft to fix it or to better it. Like, granted, Blueport did a fucking damn good job of Demon's Souls, but maybe they can't quite crack Bloodborne. Maybe they are working on Bloodborne. Who knows?
Who knows?
What do you think, Mac? Do you think this will get us Bloodborne on PC?
Not necessarily. Like you said, Sony own the IP. It's up to them to do it anyway.
Well, once again, like, hey, we own 14.09% of you. Can you give us some of your team for Bloodborne?
I mean, when you go back, most of the time their PC versions of their titles run like hot garbage. Like Elden Ring, for example, was the worst way to play the game, was to play it on PC. Like, it was a hot mess at launch. So.
And then the Mullet Show jumps in and goes, when you say DiCaprioing, I thought you meant you weren't hiring anyone older than 25. Oh, sick burn on Leo and his recent split with his girlfriend. But look, Max, as we sat here, we're talking about like how Sony's making the right call, like investing in things rather than outright purchasing. Spoilers, Sony outright bought something. So PlayStation earlier this week announced that its plan to acquire Savage Game Studios to bolster its mobile games development. Herman Holst, head of PlayStation Studios, made the announcement over on the PS blog. If you don't know the team, it's a company, which most people don't, company comprising of 2 European studios that make mobile games. Among its staff are veterans from big mobile devs such as Rovio, Zynga, Wargaming, and more. Holst describes Savage as, quote, a hugely talented team of creatives with many years of experience at making some of the most popular mobile games enjoyed by players around the world, end quote. The acquisition will put this team within a newly established PlayStation Studios mobile division, quote, which will operate independently from our console development and focus on innovative, on-the-go experiences based on new and existing PlayStation IP, end quote. Savage is already working on an unannounced AAA mobile live service action game, says a quote. Now, this is the thing. So with this studio, it was created in 2020. They've really not made anything of, I think they've actually released anything. Maybe one thing.
I don't think they actually have. I've been trying to find a game that they've released.
Yeah, and their biggest call to fame is that they got like a $4 million investment, like funding capital. I think that's the correct expression. But yeah, Max, PlayStation mobile games.
We knew it was coming. When was it? Like last year when they showed us their fucking structural pillars of what they're going to release and how, and mobile was a big one. So it makes sense that they're purchasing or acquiring studios that make them, because they don't.
Mm.
So, we've seen this in the likes of their acquiring of Bungie to learn how to make live service games, because live service games was up there in those as well. So, they're just strengthening their foundation so they can make the things that they clearly want to make. I don't know how AAA a mobile phone game can ever be.
No.
But, cool. Mobile games are not really for me.
Well, what was the last mobile game that you played?
Marvel Snap.
Oh yeah, you smashed the living shit out of that game.
I love like trading card games on mobile phone. I think they work really well.
Mm.
But anything more, like, it drains your battery, and like I kind of like to use my phone as a phone. And I don't have one of those sweet backbones to play. so yeah, I have to touch. It has to be able to be used on touchscreen, and I like games that I can pick up, play for like 5-10 minutes, then put down. I don't want to have to. That's why I never ran Call of Duty on my phone or Fortnite. Games go for too long. I want something that is very easy to pick up and play. It's why I think all those Candy Crush games and all those like endless runners work really well, because you can get in and get out really quick, and they're just super easy to monetize. It's like, oh, you ran out of moves, but you're so close to finishing the puzzle. Do you want to buy like 3 extra moves for $5? Like, come on.
Mm.
So yeah. But at the same time, I don't want fucking Nathan Drake endlessly running through tunnels. Like,
that's happened, wasn't it? There was a Nathan Drake runner. Oh shit, what was it called?
There was a Mario.
No, there was. It was like there was an Uncharted themed mobile game, and it wasn't made by Naughty Dog from memory. But yeah, so look, for me, what I'm seeing here is Crimson can confirm that there was one, and it sucked. I expected that it sucked. But I don't remember it, because I remember they made, obviously for Vita, they made Golden Abyss, and they made, Fight for Fortune, which was kind of a card-based Uncharted game, and then they made a runner on mobile. I forget what it was called. But look, for me, all this I'm seeing is PlayStation hedging their bets. They are essentially wanting to make themselves a one-stop shop for whatever it is they want to need, that they want to make, right? So having this be in its own secondary pillar, as you mentioned, is a fantastic way. Now, seeing as they have essentially left open the entire handheld market to fucking Nintendo or Valve, it seems, with the Steam Deck. Like, they are not even remotely competing in the portable space. So they're going, what was that whole, like, argument from Diablo Immortal? Well, everyone has a phone, don't they? And I think that's where they're going. I personally don't see it as an enticing space, just not for me. But when you look at what the overall idea is here, because you gave me shit when we saw this, and you're like, but didn't you just say PlayStation shouldn't fucking buy anyone? I'm like, yeah, but these guys are nobodies. There's a very big difference between them buying Square Enix and buying these guys, right? Like, this is strategic. This is planned. Like, there's a lot more to this than, I don't know, let's buy all these studios so that someone else can't get them. Because as you mentioned with Bungie, you look at what Sony are doing right now. They have Bungie to assist them with online multiplayer monetization, etc., which we know they're working on. You've got Nixxes to do your PC support and porting. You've now got Savage to do all your mobile stuff. You've got Firesprite to help you out with your VR. You've got everything that you would ever want as part of your PlayStation first-party studios. Everything you'll ever need is all within house, and like the only thing they need is to have someone that can do like their own assets, so they don't even have to make their own engine anymore, which they've covered because they've got a stake in fucking Unreal Engine 5. So Epic, and then as a result, Unreal Engine. Like, they are covering all their bases in the smartest way. They ain't locking shit down. They're just putting money in the right spaces. Hey, we understand our voice chat sucks. We put money in Discord, so now Discord's part of ours. I believe that they are making smarter and objectively more consumer-friendly acquisitions than any other company at the moment right now in terms of this whole M&A, merger and acquisitions, space. If you look over at Embracer, I don't think they're doing it correctly. Like, granted, they're doing the same idea. They're buying everything within the pipeline, so you can work. You can buy, with a limited run, you get cool physical collectors and stuff. They've got devs, they've got publishers, they've got marketing firms. Like, everyone within the Embracer group has some form of something to help that pipeline, which is true. But they're just buying more and more. They're all about hoarding IP, as we discussed last week. Where you look over at Microsoft and they talk about how exclusivity is bad and everyone has the right to choice, but then they proceed to buy everything and actively cut it off, which is interesting because we're about to get into a story where apparently that's not the case. Yeah, so it seems like everyone's kind of shitty at PlayStation in general right now, and they look at this. This is a long game idea. This is kind of the safest bet for the future that isn't going to create a bubble that will burst. I'm really opinionated again tonight, eh?
Should we talk some PSVR 2?
You can. I'm going to stop talking for a minute.
So, Sony Interactive Entertainment's own Yasuo Takahashi and Kenjo Akiyama spoke at CEDEC, the Computer Entertainment Developers Conference, last week. They highlighted several features we already knew about, including the see-through mode and those fancy new controllers. They also spoke about the ease of porting PlayStation games, whether from VR platforms or existing PS5 developed games. Game development for PSVR 2 uses the same software development kit as the PS5, which means that the process for porting games over should be relatively simple, at least relative to the complex nature of game development. PSVR 2 will also feature support for Unity and Unreal Engine, two of the most popular engines used in game development. In addition, a standardized controller interface and button placement should smooth the tricky process of adapting games from other VR platforms, because they don't have to use the fucking move ones anymore.
See, this is the thing. I know I said I wouldn't talk, but you made me chuckle with the idea of like, hey, it's relatively simple if you know what you're doing. It's like, hey,
in theory, if it uses the same dev kit, it should be fucking easy to. One would imagine it should be easily transferable. Fucking, if 1 + 1 = 2 over here, it should still equal 2 over there.
I love that in terms of, look, I don't get.
But it may not be.
I don't get cars. So you're like, hey, we've increased this thing to make this car run better. And I look at that engine, I'm like, oh, the fuck that is. I look at the old one, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is either. Look at all the changes we made. Oh, I don't get it. I don't see it. So I do like your idea, but yeah, sorry, keep going. Any thoughts about you?
That's it. That was it. So hopefully we get to see more ported more ported PSVR titles, because obviously when the first edition of PSVR came out, it did have limited titles. Most of those were on rail shooters to for the most part. The fact that PSVR 2s will support Unity and Unreal Engine means hopefully we will get some of those bigger VR titles.
Sorry, I like Crimson's comment in the chat. It is very easy to build a rocket. Like, well, yeah, in theory. And then, like, you open it up and you go, what the fuck is all this? But yeah, no, you're bang on. Like, it is one of those things. Like, yeah, the PSVR, I guess because of the nature of it being so new gear, and the whole development side of PSVR was brand new, especially in having to use those fucking Move controllers. So, well, the only thing that I wonder, if using your 1 + 1 = 2 and replicating it somewhere else.
That's obviously fucking not how it works.
No,
I just want to point out, like, it's obviously not how it works.
Yeah.
But...
No, we are dumb. It's very true. It's well confirmed. But, I mean, like, if it's... All I hope is that it's super easy to alter what is the DualSense Lite requirements to the new Sense controllers. Because I think one of the biggest shortcomings of the PSVR was that. It just completely limited what you can play. And all I hope is that this means old games, if the studios are willing to put the time in, port their stuff to PSVR 2.
I don't think that's going to be the case. Like, I think we're not going to get the PSVR 1 version of fucking what's that? Rhythm lightsaber game.
Oh, Beat Saber.
Beat Saber. We're not going to get the PSVR 1 version of Beat Saber. We're going to get the PC version of Beat Saber.
That was my second point. My second point was,
we're going to get. I hope.
If it's that easy, then they can just replicate the ports, the versions they have over on PC, and bring them across. Which means the catalog that can be available to PSVR 2 players would be, in theory, endless. It would just be like suddenly massive. And I'd really like that to be the case, but we'll have to wait and see. MGB Live in the chat asks, maybe it would be easy to port PSVR games to PSV 2. Maybe Firewall gets a PSVR 2 upgrade. It wouldn't surprise me if we just get Firewall 2. Because Firewall, I believe, has been one of the most well-supported VR games there is. PSVR, at least, anyway. It's like X amount of seasons. They're getting a 2. It's happening. Like, I don't think I ever played it. Oh, I'm thinking Bravo Team.
I've played it. I played it once. It's not bad.
You still got my aim controller, by the way.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I've had it for so long. By rights, it's mine now.
Yeah, but the fact that I remember and I keep telling you.
I mean, you know where I live. You still haven't come and got it, so it's
true.
Clearly mine. It's clearly mine now.
Yeah, you do just live down the road.
I also have like a stack of PSVR titles as well.
Of mine? Oh shit! I don't know about that. Well, I'll take the aim controller back, but I guess I can't take the game back.
Right next to the aim controller.
All right, cool. Well, let's jump. Look, seeing as I bitched about this like last week and the week before.
Speaking of big catalogs.
Speaking of big catalogs and big stacks of games, we finally have some games coming to the PS Premium. Now, I don't know what this is like for Australia. Is there PS3s?
Well, obviously, the PS. Yeah, so half of the premium selection this month are PlayStation 3 titles. So we do not get them.
Rad. But we sat here and bitched about how, like, there's nothing coming this month, but hey, next month should have something, right? Here, and this is what's coming. So if you have PS Extra, you get the following titles. You get Deathloop on PS5. You get Assassin's Creed Origins for the PS4 version. Watch Dogs 2. So look, if the last 2 months we were like, man, I wish there were more Ubisoft games. Your wet dreams have been.
I think this is the last Assassin's Creed game that we don't have.
Nah. What about what Odyssey? Is Odyssey on there?
I don't know, but I own Odyssey, so I can't.
You got one more, and then Mirage got announced this week or whatever. So there's that. Watch Dogs 2, as I just mentioned. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Spiritfarer Farewell Edition, Chicory, A Colorful Tale. I don't know what that is, but
Chicory's rad.
Buddy has exploded about 4 times in the chat just saying Chicory! So they're very excited about that one, which is good. Monster Energy Supercross, woo! The official video game 5. I'm disappointed the other 4 aren't there. Alex the Kid, where the fuck's my mouse? There it is. Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX, Rabbids Invasion, the interactive TV show, Rayman Legends, which is a dope game, and I wouldn't mind playing it again, so that's awesome. And Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, complete edition. So that is the recently released port of the PS3 game that was lost to the ether for a good while. But if you have PS Premium and you aren't in Australia, you get the following. Siphon Filter 2 on PS1. With trophies.
Apparently.
The Sly Collection on PS3, not in Australia. Sly Cooper Thieves in Time on PS3, not in Australia. Bentley's Hack Pack, PS3, not in Australia. Toy Story 3, the PSP version, woo. And Kingdom of Paradise, the PSP version.
Woo.
Woo, I guess. Max, does this get your nips hard?
Yeah, Alex Kidd, Miracle World, super keen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love Alex Kidd games. They're great. Deathloop's cool. If anyone hasn't played Deathloop and you have extra tier, please play Deathloop. It's a really cool mechanical game.
Yeah, I didn't love it as much as you, mostly because I don't have the time commitment and or skill to make it work. But I know you're really keen on it. And MGB has confirmed that AC Odyssey is not on PS Plus yet. So you got 1 more month of an Assassin's Creed game, and you have all 47 of them. So get wet. Look. For me personally, there's nothing that really jumps out. But like,
haven't you been bitching about not getting Siphon Filter 2 for ages?
Well, no. I got it from a theoretical standpoint because I have Siphon Filter 1, but it plays like an asshole. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to play that again. But look, Deathloop is great. Assassin's Creed Origin is great. Watch Dogs 2 is probably the better Watch Dogs. Like, 1 was poo hole, 3 was fine. Spiritfarer, I remember hearing good things about. Rayman Legends is pretty sweet. Once again, the continued bullshit around there not being any.
I should mention that
games.
Just the standard PlayStation Plus games came out as well, and for some reason I didn't list them.
Oh, good on you, dickhead.
The standard PlayStation Plus games, like the what is it, Essential?
Essential, yeah.
Is because I can speak.
Oh, Need for Speed Heat.
Need for Speed Heat. Toem and
another one.
Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
There you go. Cool. Well, Heat's rad. I really enjoyed Need for Speed Heat.
I had to think there for a second. Yeah.
Cool. There you go. Check that out.
Should we talk about the best friends?
Yeah. So this is obviously the title story of the week. It's kind of a big one.
So a new statement has been shared with The Verge. It has revealed that Microsoft and Sony signed an agreement way back in January to keep the Call of Duty series on PlayStation hardware for, quote, several more years after any current contracts expire. In full, Microsoft's new statement reads, quote, in January, we provided a signed agreement to Sony to guarantee Call of Duty on PlayStation, with feature and content parity for at least several more years beyond the current Sony contract, an offer that goes well beyond typical gaming industry agreements, end quote. This means that future Call of Duty titles won't have any content exclusive to Microsoft platforms, and they will release on the same day and date on Sony hardware.
About best friends.
But only for several years.
Yeah. Yeah, see, okay, look. Now, granted, whenever we've talked about this whole possible exclusivity thing with Activision and Call of Duty, we know that Microsoft have said numerous times, like, hey, no, at no point have we said that we're making Call of Duty exclusive. Yeah, but at no point have you said that you're not. You know what I mean? Like, you have used all, like, Microsoft in the same way Sony have spoken out of both sides of their mouth multiple times about this. If we looked at the start of the generation, it's about playing games everywhere. And the second they start buying games, they're like, no, everyone should be able to play everything everywhere. And then very quickly they went, once they started buying things, they started like suddenly not saying that as much. And look, admittedly, in the same breath, PlayStation were like, we believe in the old way of making games, and the old way of releasing games. And then suddenly they went, you know what's really cool? Subscription services, crossplay, this, that, the other. Everything that they suddenly were firm against, they changed their mind on. And this entire argument is about two different companies saying the other person's doing the wrong thing while also doing the wrong thing. So I want to preface on that. But the thing I don't like about this is it's vague. It's vague as shit. When you said several years, put a time frame on it. Because several years could be, it's more than 2, it's more than a couple. But how many several? Because one of those things, like, Microsoft have set the precedent that with the whole Bethesda acquisition, that they will do it. That they will lock shit down. Now, once again, PlayStation and their recent things haven't done it. Because, like, but they instead pay studios to not do it. Is that better? No. But is that how the business works? Yes. But it's one of those weird circumstances where PlayStation have bought the console rights for Final Fantasy 16, but Final Fantasy 17, that could go anywhere. They're not like dictating the future of what that agreement's going to be, where Microsoft's actions say very different. So it's this weird line for me. And if this was the case, this statement or this agreement was signed back in January and they're like, yeah, man, we made this agreement. Why the fuck has everything happened in the last couple months? This whole Brazilian shit. If the whole understanding was that we wouldn't make any exclusive DLCs, this, that, the other, it's all coming everywhere, what's been the hubbub about? Is the hubbub just Game Pass?
It's not a hubbub. Like, Sony are obviously still concerned that they don't have a competitor for Call of Duty if and when Microsoft decide to be like, hey, we fulfilled our agreement. We kept you alive. We kept it on your system for several years. Now it's ours. What you gonna do about it? Like, that is still obviously a concern for Sony, yeah. And like it, and I guess it should be. Like, they're right. They don't really have a nothing really competes with Call of Duty. Even on Call of Duty's worst year, nothing competes with that bastard. It's just
except for Elden Ring this year, apparently.
It's like the fucking Juggernaut. Like,
yeah.
And you know, it's all good and well for them to be like, yeah, like you said, you know, several years is so vague. It's like, is it 3 years? Is it 7 years? Is it going to be more? Like, are they going to renew this? It's cool that it's obviously, you know, that everything's going to release day and date on both systems, but at the end of the day, Microsoft still have that pull of, you can play it day one on Sony for $125. Or you can play it day one on Xbox and PC for whatever the cost of Games Pass is that month. If you're a new customer, it's $2 for the month.
Yeah,
like, you know, it's. And while I don't think that a lot of people will jump ship straight away to like console swap essentially straight away, it could happen down the road. And then there's that whole thing of, do Microsoft even want to sell boxes anymore? You can stream games to your Samsung TV now. At what point are they just going to sell me a fucking USB dongle where I can stream Games Pass games to my whatever it's plugged into at the time?
Mm. Well, yeah, and it's
and then if that's the case, Microsoft are better keeping it on PlayStation.
Yeah, it's difficult because, like, we've talked about this previously, and about how, like, each of these two people, like Microsoft and people, their companies, each of these two companies are tackling it very differently, right? Sony they are hardware. Their focus is hardware, moving units. Microsoft, we're a service. They don't give a shit about their fucking boxes. It's all about the service. And what we're seeing is two companies that are battling in those different avenues, but they have to play in the same turf. But they're also sprinkling in those different parts. So, like, yes, Microsoft is being a service, but they're not, because they're actively making decisions that a hardware primary focus company would. And now Sony are trying to sprinkle the services part but they're only just playing catch up to Game Pass because Game Pass is unquestionably better. So like they're both kind of doing both, but shitting on the other person for the other. And I agree with you. Like, you know, Sony are in a tough position. Call of Duty is the tentpole. It is the biggest and the bestest first person shooter. It's one of the biggest games every year. And I would argue, if I'm going to be that guy, and I will be that guy, if Sony are like, oh man, no matter what we do, we can't beat Call of Duty, sounds like a you problem, mate. When was the last time you released a first person shooter? Really? Like, you can sit here and bitch and moan all you want. When was it? Killzone Shadowfall? Launch game for the PS4? Oh man, we've got nothing that can compete with Call of Duty. It's been like 15 years. I'm exaggerating, but it's been a substantial amount of years, right? And you're like, we've got nothing. That sounds like a you problem because you made that world. If you attempted to continue to release or work or reiterate or even fucking try to get into the first-person shooter space. But then again, I mean that in terms of your problem is you don't have a competitor in the first-person shooter space. Now, Buddy in the chat jumps in and goes, it's not a you problem for Sony. Microsoft literally buying the biggest game ever. That's my point. Like that part is very different. But the idea of them going, I'm using two separate arguments here, right? The argument if there's nothing that we have that can compete with Call of Duty, that's a you problem. Microsoft going, well, we can't compete it, we're going to buy it. Very different problem. So there's like it is a multi-layered argument, right? Because Microsoft, they had one of the greatest first-person shooters ever to release in Halo, and they fucked it. You know what I mean? It's like, well, we fucked it so hard, we're just going to buy the next biggest one. It's fucked. It's fucking weird. Am I wrong?
Fairly sure PlanetSide 2 was third person too.
What third party?
Third person. Not first person.
Yeah. So look, Buddy, you are correct. And I'm not disputing you. You are correct, and this is a multi-layered argument. But if you want to break it down to its parts, you know, yeah, as in like part one, we don't have anything to compete against Call of Duty. Why not? You could have tried. You could have tried harder. You could have made it better. Okay. Step two. Then there's all Microsoft stuff. It's very different. In the chat, MGB goes, Sony forgets that they have Killzone and Resistance, but they are in the IP graveyard alongside so many others. Exactly. You know, it's that weird, tough space.
Oh, they need to release Factions already.
Yeah, but even then,
I think it's third person.
Yeah, and even then, it's third person over the shoulder action, which is PlayStation's wheelhouse, which they do great. But like, see, this is the other thing, right? And like, I know it's not exactly true, but PlayStation have, for whatever reason, really cornered themselves in the types of games that they make. Now, I happen to love those games, which is great. Like those story-based action adventures, who's that the other. But they've limited themselves.
Yeah.
You know, wait and see. And SOCOM, SOCOM forgotten about too. And that allegedly that's been in the rumor mill for ages. Like there's a team somewhere. Oh, my brain, it cannot remember which one it is. But like they hired one of the guys from Siege to come in and help build what we presume is SOCOM. Before we jump over the next thing, Shane in the chat jumps in and goes, feel like Sony's risk department should have flagged that they've put all their first-party eggs in a single player. Correct. They don't necessarily need an FPS, just a successful games as a service, which like a Sea of Thieves or even a Grounded or State of Decay, which is what they're moving on now, but we'll add to that in a second. They also added, would be a great if SOE was still around. Yeah, SOE, who were pivotal in the development and creation of DC Universe Online, which I fucking smashed the shit out of. But to add to your games as a service thing, PlayStation are doing that now, where that games as a service industry is bigger than it ever has been. And when you have every game under the sun fighting you for your time, because that's what every game fights for, is your time. And you are a perfect example of this, Max.
Well, we saw it in recent years with the battle royale genre.
Yep.
Like, PUBG kicked it all off for better or for worse, and then Fortnite came in and pretty much
Yeah,
just
they
stomped everyone
Microsoft
into
it,
the
they
ground.
made it, and then Apple came in with Fortnite and made it better. It's like whoever made the tablet first. Microsoft did, but then Apple made the iPad, and no one thinks of Microsoft tablets.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. You're actually correct.
I think Sony may be too late to the party unless they make an absolute banger of a live service game. But I say this every time. Like, I get to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm done with Destiny, and then they're like, hey, new season's out, new DLC's out, and I'm like, fuck, I'm back.
Oh, exactly. Like you have, every week you say these are the games that I'm married to, and that's not a bad thing. But like, there is no room in people's time to go and play new things because they've committed so much time and energy to these games that they love, which because they're good. But the idea of bringing a new game into their weekly is horrible, especially. Pardon me, where each game has a season pass, each game has a battle pass. Sorry, not season pass, a battle pass that requires you to play an absorbent amount of hours to achieve whatever it is that you want to do. And even then, you're fighting with the fever dream that is Fortnite. When like, how can you compete against Goku Kamehameha Darth Vader in the face? Who can, right? And then you're like, all right, well, let's make a really good first person shooter MMO. Yeah, Destiny's got you beat. Yeah. And like, it's one of those weird spaces where when you think of particular genres, you think first person shooter, games as a service, you think Destiny. You think battle royale, you think Fortnite. You think MOBA, you think Dota 2. I mean, there are games that
whoa.
What?
League of Legends.
Sorry, League of Legends. My apologies. I don't play either of them, so my apologies. League of Legends.
I mean, 50%. It's like 50-50, but like, ugh.
No, I appreciate it. But what I'm saying is that.
Yeah, Buddy points out that all the big ones are all third-party titles.
Correct, because they are playable everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things because they have financial incentive to make it bigger and better. Like this is the thing, and for better or worse, when you look at giant publishers like Activision, right? They're like, oh, they're a giant business. Yeah, they are, but they don't do it for the creative endeavor. They do it for the money, and when you do it for the money, you are more likely to find ways to make it better in theory or find ways to break it. Like once Epic realized that they could make a stack of money on Fortnite, they put all their money into Fortnite. Same as Rockstar.
They kind of shut down the single player Save the World version. They're like they just went all in on that online battle royale style.
And like for better or worse, like once again, you have the shit side, which is its microtransactions up the arsehole. The bad side is it's actually a really good foundation of a game. And they just iterated it and made it cooler and made it better. Destiny's the same boat. Destiny 1 was pretty sweet, and then Destiny 2 made it better. And then every expansion that they add is all about adding cool new shit to make it bigger and better. They're whole building on that whole games as a service model. So if you think MMOs, you think like Final Fantasy 14 right now, or World of Warcraft originally, but that's slowly changing.
Yeah, well, considering the fact that they had to stop selling copies of Final Fantasy Online because there was such a fucking influx of players, they're obviously doing something right over there.
Yeah. Look, and I say all this knowing fair well that I'm a fucking idiot and I have no business acumen at all. And to sit here and be like, well, this is what they should be doing, I am not the right person to be saying any of that. But yeah, Buddy's point about them being all third party is 100% true. Because, as I said, those companies have financial incentive to go bigger, better. And with PlayStation, they are more on that creative endeavor. And we've seen this happen, is that they focus on one game at a time. And then that game release, because their entire business model, as Shane pointed out before, is single player. And single player is all about consuming now. You're done. What's your next thing? Games as a service doesn't work like that. It can't work like that. So the fact that Sony's current, motives is, here's a game, and then even on the release day of that fucking game, they go, haha, here's the next game, just burying the game they just released. Yeah. let's move it on. But let us know what you think about all this. We're very fascinated to hear what the people say. But wait, did I read that one or you did?
Your quick bidding.
Oh, sweet. Quick bits! So these are all a little bit, for those that might be new, these are little quick bits of news, just little sentences, just for things that may not need as much of a deep dive. Number 1. A new Mafia game has been confirmed in development, and off the back of the Mafia's 20th anniversary. Mafia 3 was fine. You and I played the Definitive Edition remasters of 1 and 2. 1 was fantastic. 2 was subpar. Do you want another Mafia game?
Subpar is putting it nicely.
Yeah. Do you want another Mafia game?
No.
Okay. I like the idea behind
the
Mafia.
Issue is it's kind of GTA, but GTA does it better. But like, if you like that time period that it's in, like, it's kind of cool. But at the same time, you get in a car and you're like, everything's so fucking slow.
Yeah.
And like, it's like I can go here and drive a car at like 10 miles per hour, or I can go over here and my car can fly. So
yeah, they focus on the story and the grounded realness of it, and remove all the crazy shit that like GTA did and that Saints Row.
It kind of makes those games fun.
Yeah, because like mechanically, Mafia sucks. Story wise, it's pretty cool, but mechanically, horrendous. Konami are allegedly set to announce a new game from a world-loved series at Tokyo Game Show. # Silent Hill confirmed. # Metal Gear Solid Remake confirmed.
No, we're getting another Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Pachinkos.
Pachinkos.
Ubisoft Forward is happening next week. Will we see Prince of Persia: Sand of Time's release date? No.
What we will see is...
what we will see instead is Assassin's Creed Mirage has been confirmed, and more details this weekend at the Ubisoft Forward event.
So it kicks off at 3 a.m. Sunday morning for those playing in Australia.
I'll be sleeping. Gremlins Gizmo heads to Multiverses next week. So, the one little gremlins you don't feed after midnight, but they did, it seems. CD Projekt Red confirms that a new Cyberpunk 2077 update next week. Guarantee still not enough to fix the damn game.
They're having one of their live CityWire things next week.
Oh shit! I can't wait for the yellow screen that has something that went wrong. And finally, new God of War Ragnarok gameplay will be releasing this week, or has released. Sorry,
it released this week.
Oh, it has released. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
we have 5 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, this is on the back of the Game Informer cover. The reason I sounded so dumb about it is because I am, and 2, I've gone hard blackout. I am just eagerly awaiting November 9th.
I forgot to put it in, but for those who are interested, Hogwarts Legacy also had another deep dive gameplay stuff where they showed off
the house common rooms.
The house common rooms, and they also announced that if you're a Giganto nerd, you can link your Pottermore account to your Warner Brothers account, and you will be you can do the online quiz to get sorted, and you will be sorted into that housing game, and you can import your wand into the game as well.
Are you doing that, you big Harry Potter dork?
So keen for this game. I really am.
You big Harry Potter dork. Because you're a Slytherin, are you not?
Yeah, I am.
Gross.
Super keen.
I'm a Hufflepuff. My common room looked pretty sweet. It was alright.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool. And then obviously they turned around and went, "Hey, you can't play Quidditch, but there will be brooms and racing, but no flying sports."
Then we get some Quidditch DLC later on.
All right, upcoming titles. Let's do this. We have Circus Electrique coming to PS4, PS5, September 6th. We have the Tomorrow Children Phoenix Edition, PS4, September 6th. We have Train Sim World 3,
yes!
PS4, PS5, September 6th. We have Biomutant, PS5, September 6th. We have Steel Rising, PS5, September 8th. And NBA 2K23 coming to both PlayStation 4 and 5 on September 9th.
Man, I saw a picture of the NBA 2K whatever, 150 gigs.
Yeah.
Ha!
There's also like a $280 edition that comes with like the NBA
It,
streaming.
it comes with actually, apparently that's actually a really good deal because the
Yeah, apparently it's
NBA,
like essentially you're getting the game for free. It's
yeah,
whatever the yearly pass is for whatever the game subscription thing is.
yeah. Like
To watch
if
the
you're
NBA
really
live.
into the basketball, like the whole season pass thing,
Yeah,
what is it
if
called?
you pay for that anyway, you should buy the
Season
game 'cause you get
ticket,
the
yeah,
game.
yeah, the season ticket. Like, because I know
Yeah.
like the Madden, the NFL ticket is like $200, and you get like every match of the year ever. But that's insane. But yeah, like if you get the game for free and you're gonna watch the basketball anyway, fuck yeah. Biomutant gets a PS5 version. It looked like shit on PS4, so I hope it looks better.
Yeah, well,
But
it's rough on PS4.
yeah, Still Rising is I think the one that gets you the most, Moist.
Yeah, so Still Rising is that Souls like I think it's French Revolution setting. Looks cool.
Yeah. Nothing excites me at all.
As he goes, Train Sim World 3, woo!
Oh, that was just a joke because that's one of the nerdiest things I've ever seen in my life.
It has like 400 DLCs.
Yeah, oh my god, yeah. Well, we did the math once because I remember one of my clients at work was enjoying it. We did the math; it was like $1,000 something to get all of it. All of it. It was crazy. But yeah, look, for me this week, I'll probably play more Last of Us. I still want to play some more 2 Point Campus. I might jump into In Sound Mind or Red Dead, see how my week goes. I don't know what I'm going to do this week, but yeah, with no new releases, and look, I still haven't jumped on Saints Row yet. So
we had been pretty flat out trying to get Last of Us done.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't jumped in. Like, we don't actually have Saints Row yet. So like, I'm seeing as that the reviews of it are hot poo. I'm not gonna wait till it's on sale, and then I'll buy it with our sweet Patreon dollars. Thank you very much, Patreon. Then we'll play it and either enjoy it and or poop on it, and I can't wait for either. Because I watched Skill Up's video, his review. Oh, if the game is as bad as he says it is, I cannot wait to play it. It's one of those weird, because like we talked about this before. Like, we're very lucky in that we get to play the games we want to play all the time. So we never have to play a bad game because we can normally go, that looks pretty bad, and then not ask for a code. Because we kind of get to do what we want.
Yeah.
But I haven't properly pooed on a game in a while, and you got to have some fun with Path of Titans today.
Oh man. Oh, I forgot to mention at the top of the show, I played some more Disgaea 6 as well. And I'm starting to feel the burn of it. It's kind of crumbling under the weight of its own millions of mechanics.
Yeah.
And the story's just not pulling me through enough to deal with all the micromanagement that it comes with it.
Fair.
Which is a real shame.
That's a
but
bummer.
shout out to Bandai for supplying me with a code for that.
Yeah. Buddy goes, it's not worth it. For Saints Row, I presume. Yeah, that's a good point.
But sometimes bad games can be fun. Like, I really enjoyed Friday the 13th, and at its core, it was a horrible game.
Look, I platinumed.
But damn me, did I have some fun on it.
I platinumed all the Paw Patrol games, alright? They suck. I platinumed the PJ Masks game. Also sucks. I did it with my kid, but it was fun. But the game's trash. Absolute trash. Speaking of trash, we're done. Whoa, fucking, I just punched my new microphone. Oh yeah, I got a new boom arm, by the way. I got myself the Elgato low profile. I can do this, and Mike's... As Mike won't get in the way as I punch it. That was bold strategy, Cotton. But anyways, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this show. We much appreciate you for taking, an hour and a bit out of your day. Listen to us nonsense. It is much, much appreciated. But Max...
Well, everyone, this PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, you can come and check out our socials. Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join the conversation as it happens, over twitch.tv/thepopcultures, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. Tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation podcast. If you are listening on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. And if you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopcultures, as well as our merchandise store, popcultures.com/shop, where you buy shirts and other sort of shit with our logos on it. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was For the Players.